Hey everyone, I'm Colette and welcome to my channel Witchways, and today I want to talk about the magic you can do during the summer months for the phases of the dark moon through until the first crescent. I hope you enjoy. I just want to give you a really quick overview about how I work with these moon phases. In general, I see the dark moon as a time to go inward, maybe do some divination, release, perhaps banish, clear, and then once the moon switches to the new moon, I feel like it's a time of building, calling in magic, growing. But during the actual moment of the new moon, the actual time, the moon is still hidden from sight and it's dark. So personally, I feel like I like to wait until I see that first crescent at sunset, which is about 24 hours after the time of the new moon. So I'm going to give the day of the dark moon, the day of the actual new moon time, and then the day of the crescent, so you can decide for yourself when to implement these magical suggestions I'm sharing for each month. Let me know in the comments if you have questions about that. And I also just want to take a quick minute here to do a promo for myself, because I'm really excited that I finally got a blog up on my website, and I'm going to share articles about Sabbats, magical holidays, seasonal magic, moon magic, and sometimes my personal thoughts and experiences from my over 50 years in the craft. I would really love it if you check it out, and I'll put that link in the description as well. The summer months mark the magical transition from that radiance of summer solstice with its expansion to the very beginning of the harvest season. So the magical associations that I associate with this time of year are generosity, hospitality, abundance, health, prosperity, harvest spells, safety, work on home and hearth, and sometimes travel charms. And you can invoke any beings that you feel called to for this spells from your background or tradition. But I personally like to work with the gods and goddesses, the deities that are non-binary from my traditions of my ancestors from the Celtic and Germanic countries. Okay, let's jump into June's moon magic. The dark moon is on the 24th, the actual new moon is on the 25th, and the first crescent will be showing in the sky on the 26th. In Anglo-Saxon tradition, June is known as the first traveling month. Let's start with the dark moon on the 24th, and because it falls so close to the summer solstice this year, I'm going to gather up my old protection bundles from my doorways and windows and burn them outside. Then I'm going to take the ashes, mix them with a little bit of water, and paint that on the four corners of my house as sun symbols to invoke a little bit of protection and safety and strength for the physical structure of my home. June is magically associated with expansion and growth, but I personally also see it as a gateway into commitment and refinement. And it's also a good time to do some divination. So I'm going to pull one card for each major commitment that I hold, especially around my personal projects and close family and friends, and what I need to do or see around those commitments. If the cards tell me that something about my commitments needs to be released, I'll write it down on a piece of paper and burn it. And if the cards tell me that it's something that needs to be supported and enhanced, I'll wait until the new moon, and then I will whisper it into a candle and let that candle burn all the way out. For the new moon, you can create some protection bundles or some herbal charm bags to place in liminal spaces of your house, like doorways and windows, and use the herbs that resonate for you or that you have available. Personally, I like rosemary, blue vervain, hyssop, sometimes agrimony or cinnamon gets added in as well. This is also a really good new moon to make a travel charm for physical safety for yourself. And I've already done a video on that here on YouTube. I'll put that in the description. And I also like to make a charm bag for protection for dreams, or as a charm to hold while I'm doing magical traveling or visualizations during a ritual. For that charm, you can use mugwort for divination and intuitive navigating, roses for an easy path, and garden sage for wise decisions on navigating the astral path and your safe return. To me, the magical energy of July is a bit of a pause to enjoy the time spent with family, friends, relax and enjoy the summer. And that can be family who is chosen family or blood family. For me, again, as I said, it's a little bit of an in-between month, and its energy really spans that time from summer solstice with its radiance to just the very beginning of the harvest season. The dark moon is on the 23rd, the new moon is on the 24th, and the first crescent will likely be on the 25th. I like to use the dark moon time in July to assess my magical herb cupboard. I dump any herbs that seem old or faded or don't have any potency anymore, while there's still time to harvest and try new ones. This year I have a lot of remnants of sprays I made that really aren't fresh and vital anymore, and so I'll return those to the earth and also compost or dispose of any dried herbs or oils that aren't fresh anymore. And then I like to do a quick wash of the shelves with some blue vervain to just clear off any stagnant energy that might be in there. At the new moon, you can make a herb bundle or a charm bag with herbs that will magically and physically protect your blends and herbs you have in your cupboard. You can also add some herbs that are physically repellent to moths and bugs. I like rosemary for protection, and for the repellent qualities, I like southernwood, wormwood, and santalina. If you aren't growing these herbs, and most of you probably aren't, you can order them online from a store and use them as dried herbs in a charm bag. And so just take those herbs once you get them, put them in a bowl, mix them up, light a candle, and ask those herbs to protect your magical supplies, and then put them in the charm bag and hang them in your cupboard. This is also a really great new moon to get to know and support local big trees in your neighborhood, yard, or region. And that can be really simple, like just breathing with them. It can also be a time where you give them an offering of water from a bottle or a glass. But if you have access to them, you can spend more time with them and do a really deep watering once a week or every 2 weeks to make sure their deep roots get fed with water. And depending on where you live, of course, you might need to adjust the timing on this. But in my region, I like to do it now. So I place the hose or sprinkler near the tree, turn it on for several hours, and as I turn it on, I just run my fingers through the water and feel some appreciation and support for the trees and the work they're doing to keep me safe, to keep the planet safe, to keep our air high quality, and just send that energy out through the water and then let it soak for a really long time. And this is a great new moon to capture some of that summer energy and make some moon water. So just put some water in a jar, set it outside at sunset, and then retrieve it sometime around sunrise. Just let it sit out overnight. And then I like to use that altar on my water, and I feel like it holds the energy of the essence of summer, which is about prosperity, abundance. And since we're so close to the beginning of the harvest season, I feel like it also can be used in spells to enhance my magical harvest, whatever that means. That can be money, that can be beneficial beings, that can be physical health, whatever that abundance means to you. Sometimes I put new moon water on spell paper, and for this month's new moon, one of the things I might do with that spell paper is to write out wishes to support and magically enhance any physical or magical actions I take around climate change. Then I bury the spell paper in the earth and water it in really well, asking that that magic grow and expand. And I like to give a donation or follow up with some kind of physical action around climate change because it's important to do that right now, but also because when you take a physical action, it carries your magic and gives it a gateway into the actual physical reality. I often also make a garden charm for an abundant harvest at this new moon or this time of year. And you can use any herbs that you want, but I especially like ones that are associated with abundance, luck, success, any that you resonate with. Often I use rose petals, nutmeg, bay leaf, rosemary, and alfalfa or clover leaves in a natural charm bag. As I'm making the charm, I light a birthday candle and ask the herbs to bring their qualities to this spell. And then once I've finished making it and the candle's burned out, I'm going to place it, hanging it out in my garden, or I'm going to bury it in my garden or hang it in a window if I need to that faces the garden. August is known as the time when the harvest festivals really get going and continue through the fall. This is often starting around the full moon, which this year falls in early August. The Anglo-Saxon name for this month was Herb Month or Weed Month. This year, the dark moon and the new moon fall towards the end of the month. Dark moon is on the 21st, the new moon is on the 22nd, and the first crescent should appear on the 23rd. For the dark moon, I like to do a divinatory reading to see what's coming up in the first quarter of the fall. And I start by placing mugwort around the place where I'm going to do the reading. I might also just burn some mugwort to open my intuition, and I'll probably light a candle to help hold a spiritual presence. I pick one card for what I've received over the summer months and what is most likely to help me during the fall. One card for what I'm holding that is currently unresolved or information that I need to know about things that are unknown that might be coming my way during the fall. And then the final card is for the best energy that I can hold or steer towards in the fall season. Then once that dark moon turns to new, I'll take another look at that final steering navigational card and see if I can associate a quality with it, like happiness or protection, and then see if I can find herbs that are associated with that particular quality. Then I'll make a charm bag, light a candle to activate it, ask the herbs to bring that property into my charm bag, and let the candle burn all the way out. And likely what I'll do with it is I'll place it in my closet with my clothes so it infuses them with that particular quality that I need to carry. And then that way it's also somewhere where I can see it every day, so I'm reminded of what it is I need to hold. And I'll likely keep it up through at least the first month of fall, September, maybe into the first week or so of October. Because the new moon falls so close to the end of August this year, I'm going to do a wellness and health charm for myself. And I see it as building up my physical and energetic strength well in advance of when the cold and flu season hits. This year, I'm going to experiment with making a sigil for my health and wellness spell. And for that sigil, I'm going to create a phrase, and it'll probably be something like, "May my body and spirit stay strong as I move closer to the time of dark and winter." It's so much fun doing another moon series video. So the one I did on full moon last year was super popular. I don't know if this one will really hit people the same way. So please let me know in the comments if you like it. Say yes if you'd like me to continue it through the fall months. And I also am going to put in the description a link to my blog. I hope you check it out. I'm really excited about it. And also there's a link there to sign up to my monthly newsletter. So until next time, y'all, stay safe and be well.